Hello everyone, this is Resac the Jug Gamer, and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. I don't remember what happened last time, but it couldn't have been that long. Wait a minute. Oh god, it's been forever. Anyways, the sound of an alarm pulls me out of a fitful slumber and into an unpleasant state of wakefulness. I linger under the blanket for a few minutes, gathering energy to rise up while making excuses as for why I already haven't. Bad God, let me sleep. Honestly, I wouldn't mind staying here for all day. School is surprisingly exhausting after a long pause. The culture shock still has not faded, I think. Though, despite getting the impression that skipping class is easy here, I don't think they're going to let me get away that easily. Yeah, then the nurse is bound to keep breathing down my neck with the talk of exercising as well. So eventually I do rise up, swallow the morning medications, and put on my old soccer clothing. Thanks to my condition, I am exempt from taking part in gym classes at Yamaku, so I didn't get issued a gym outfit. Oh, well, that's surprising. I ordered some to cover such a contingency, but wearing my old soccer clothes is kind of nostalgic. I can't use them for that anymore, so maybe they could get a new life this way. A bit like me. After all, if I'm going to start taking care of myself, I can't afford to slack around. I'll start from the basics. Basics which includes keeping the rest of my body in shape, along with what little I can do to strengthen my heart. Maybe then I could go back to something approaching a normal life. Or at least something where I'm less likely to fall over dead at any minute. I'm surprised to discover that I'm not the only one present at the track. Not just that, but it's a face I've seen before. The prosthetic-legged girl who bowled me over in the hallway yesterday is running on the track lithely, like a half-mechanical gazelle. What was her name? It was a short one, but I can't remember. She seems to be running laps at a somewhat easy lope, her prosthetic's legs clacking rhythmically on the hard track surface. Wonder what reason she has for running this early in the morning. Maybe something akin to mine, and the nurse is oppressing the poor girl to jog, just like he's oppressing me. Certainly wouldn't be here if it weren't for my health and him prompting me to do so. And even with things being like they are, it's only because I wanted to get it out of the way early. The fact that I would be less likely to encounter someone who would witness my pitiful attempts to get in shape was merely a happy accident. I'd leave, but it seems my former assailant noticed me on her last lap. She waves at me cheerfully and jogs over. Good morning! Your name is Asao, right? She grinned, seemingly pleased that she remembered my name. You may not remember me. And me? I knocked you over in the hall yesterday. Miss Iburazaki? She imitates me, imitating Shizune, failing to get the same kind of subdued lit into a high-pitched voice. How could I forget such a, blunt introduction? Emi has a decency to look vaguely apologetic for a moment before giggling. Yeah, sorry about that. Again. Well, so long as you don't make a habit out of it, I suppose it's fine. Great! I'm not sure she realized I was joking. You wanted to get bowled over more? So the spy assailant the nurse was talking about, is that actually you? That's right! Oh. I was expecting someone from the nursing staff, to be honest. What? Are you saying I don't look like I could be a spy? No, this is more like a relief. I was afraid he'd have someone to watch my every move. Unless you are here to do exactly that! No, I'm here for my own reasons. The nurse just asked me if I had seen a messy-haired transfer student who looks like he's kinda lost around the track. So why are you down here? Emi strikes a dramatic pose. Training! For what? Track! Ah, I see. You're on the track team then? She basically rules it. Emi nods enthusiastically. Yep, I'm one of the better runners too. Are you not the best? I'm honest about it too. Hey, you should join up. good exercise, you know? I think that much activity is probably out of the question for me. Yeah, I'm not even sure that I really like running all that much. Plus, I'm just not into organized sports, you know? It's true, I never even really got that much into soccer. I mean, I'd run around with my family and all, but friends and all, and that was the only really reason I played. It wasn't for the glory to be found on the field, that's for sure. Everyone seems to understand my meaning. I see. Not that into the whole organization thing. But now that you're here, I guess we're going to run together, huh? What? Sure, I guess. Emmy seems pleased. Are you going to warm up? Real men don't warm up. Oh no, you should always warm up. Bad Hisao! She scolds me enthusiastically, but then smiles and leans closer. I hate warming up too. She laughs suddenly. Heck, and I don't even have to stretch my legs. Jumpy. As if to confirm her statements, she bounces up and down a couple of times, giving a passing impression of standing on a pair of springs. The leg place seems to be quite elastic. Let's go! They both take off on the check, and I can immediately see that she wasn't lying about being good at running. Emmy moves fluidly, throwing herself into the run with a sort of wild abandon. By myself, concentrating more on running properly. Hands spread, right? Something about hitting on the balls of your feet rather than the heels. I try to match my stride to Emmy's, but it's pretty difficult. Apparently I'm not very good at it. Maybe Emmy could help me with that sometime. I'm really not filling up more than a couple of laps today. And slow to a walk pretty quickly. I'd still be running if I was you. Mostly because I'm slow as fuck. Emmy keeps running and doesn't seem to notice. I've stopped until she passes me a second time. She quickly skids to a halt, breathing steadily in contrast to my somewhat gasping demeanor. Finished already? Hang my head ruefully. Yeah. I'm not in very good shape right now. Emmy nods and then grins at me again. She seems to do a lot of smiling. Well, the important thing is that you started, right? Next time, you just have to try holding on a little longer, and then longer, and eventually you'll be great! I'll keep that in mind. But I think right now, I'm going to go get ready for class. Shouldn't you? Emmy shrugs unconcernedly. Nah, I've got plenty of time. I noticed that she's not wearing a watch. Are you sure? Another careless shrug. Not really, but I have to finish my routine. See you later, Hisao. Yeah, see ya. I'm not sure whether this morning's experiment was a success or a failure, but I'll admit that I do feel slightly good about getting out there this morning. And like Amy said, I just need to keep at it in order to get better, right? Practice makes perfect, or something like that. It's nice to at least feel like I've taken some semblance of control over my own health. I have to try to keep this up. I head back to the dorms to wash and change into my uniform, trying to resist the urge to take a really long and hot shower. I'm tired for all the running, so I just want to unwind, but I don't want to break my slowly building routine of getting to school before the morning rush.
Alright, so I actually want to change topics a bit and talk about, well, the Katawa Shoujo subreddit. Because of course there's a goddamn subreddit. Yeah, and something I actually didn't know was the fact that Reddit actually started in 2005. Which is quite a few years before Katawa Shoujo was even, well, a couple years before Katawa Shoujo was even in development. But no, so yeah. Because the development of the game started in 2007. Anyways, the subreddit was created in 2012. So, the subreddit, you can have what you'd expect. Fan art, people's history, actually, of playing the game, people's experiences. Of course, some fun facts. But mostly fan art. Lots of fan art. Including fan art that is a bit spicy. I really do not recommend watching. Well, you can watch it in scroll through the post in public, but you might get blindsided by some porn. The naughty knots. I don't know why I said those like that. But yeah, no. It's a fun little place, and yeah, it's just good to go and see. Because there's a lot of beautiful looking ones. And of course, people will always need help downloading the game. Which I'm actually going to go and say this. If you want this game, if you want to go download the game, do not use Chromium. For some reason, anything that uses Chromium cannot. For some reason, it doesn't get downloaded from the website. So you need something like Firefox in order to download it. Which is how I did, actually. I don't know if there's a place you could go to that can download it. I have no idea why this happens. But yeah, no. It's a nice place and lots of fun. We have cosplays, and it's just the fact that the community is still active, fairly active, even after the game. It's been 10 years, by the way. It's been about 10 years since the game got released. Actually, I think a bit more than that. No, it's been 10 years. It's been 10 years. It's almost about to be 11. Holy shit, I'm lazy. Goddamn. Anyways. The reason why I want to bring up the subreddit is because of r/place. Because fun fact, Kotaro Shoujo actually got a spot in r/place. Thanks to Doki Doki Literature Club subreddit. And together they actually managed to secure a small spot with 4 Doki goals with a tiny DDLC right above them, well, above the goals. And above that was a banner for Kotaro Shoujo with a little Hanako at the end. And it just goes and makes it happy. If you want to know what it looks like this. Alrighty then. Alright, so the next topic I actually want to talk about is the, well, forums. Because Kotaro Shoujo actually had his own forums. And not even just, yeah, because they also have forums and a blog. We're going to go to the dev blog later. Because I just want to focus on the forum right now. And sad thing about the forum is that apparently when it upgraded, they lost their theme. I found they did remake it, but you have to download it from. Yeah, you have to download stuff, and I don't like downloading stuff, so I won't be able to experience it. Not like I'm part of the forum, and there seems to be some sort of issue on the forum where new people can't sign in. There's still some active people on it, but not that many. I think I saw like only 100 people, and I think that's just they had it open, not really like posting stuff. Yeah, no. Anyway, so I do have pictures of what the old forum might have looked like. So here's what that looks like, and the forum that looks without it is like this. Not as interesting in any sense. So if you do decide to go to the forums, even though I'm not entirely sure you can even use it, just because for some reason it's not. People are having trouble signing up. For some reason they're not getting like the verification message. So if any of you guys have any ideas of how to fix that, tell the r/Reddit. Go tell r/Katawa Shoujo. They need it. Okay, so after finishing the entire game, getting the last picture, found the time to finish my flowchart. Okay. Yeah, someone made a flowchart of all the paths, which that could be interesting to look into. Man, there's framework projects, read the effects, and frequently asked questions. It's just nice to go and see. Public discussions, which I do wonder if there are any new ones. This is just interesting because it's just looking through old history at this point. Even though you guys can't really see much of anything. For a minute I thought someone got shot. I'm not even paying attention to the video. Oh boy. The 10th anniversary cometh. Music for use. I was brought here by a dream. First time visiting here at least in 8 years, and I'm here because of a dream of a... Okay, so those easy to share. First of all, though... So yeah, no, there's just a lot that you could go and see here and learn about. Anyway, so with that, I guess the next thing would be the Katawa Shoujo dev blog. This is honestly not much I could really say about this one, just because I'm pretty sure it's what you'd expect, honestly. It was the Katawa Shoujo dev blog. It's literally what happened while the game was being developed. Although they did release stuff afterwards. Like the books I showed you, they were mentioned here, and they were mentioned where they could have, well, where they were sold. Typically at Comiket. But something that I find interesting is the fact that there was a Katawa Shoujo 2. It got cancelled though. Which is interesting considering after Katawa Shoujo 1, they thought they were done. Not much they could have done. But clearly with this, that's not the case. So... Actually, how much time do I have? Okay, there's plenty of time. So I'm gonna go and read you the post about the cancelled Katawa Shoujo. The only thing set in stone about creativity is that nothing is set in stone. We at the Four Leaf Studios know that as well as every new one. Throughout the development of Katawa Shoujo, we've changed our minds countless times about grand visions of the project, and about minute details as well. After KS was released, we felt like we were done, finished both emotionally and creatively. We didn't want to stay with KS anymore, but where to go from there? After about a year of soul searching, we realized that we hadn't done anything of relevance for about a year and panicked a little. Katawa Shoujo 2 was brought up again. Maybe we should just accept our fate and go for it? Do we have motivation? Could we get inspired by returning to that uninspiring setting and having to write about teenager drama once again? After some unfruitful discussions and a lot of hemming and hawing, we decided to use the most powerful development tool known to man: voting. Everyone would simply vote for or against making KS2, and we'd abide by the democratic decision no matter what anyone actually said about the issue. I think just about everyone's mind was blown when it turned out that every single vote was for yes. I couldn't believe it myself. Just like that, we had changed our minds on the biggest rule for ourselves. So the one we thought was truly set in stone. So that was it. Half excited, half scared. We set out to make KS2, but how? What would it be like? What should it be like? It would be a failure, as we found out. Finding a unified version between a great number of people is difficult. The proverb about chefs and soup goes for devs and visual novels just as well. The overall approach for KS2 was the first point of conflict. I argued that there was no point in making a sequel unless it's essentially the same thing again, which made Delta threaten to quit on the spot because he'd rather cosplay Misha at the next Oktoberfest than make KS all over again. Zurko thought he was being clever by suggesting a compromise with a female protagonist and a girl love theme, but everyone was wise to his self-serving agenda and shut it down immediately. Not that anyone was really that attached to Hisao as the protagonist. 5 people individually from each other suggested a plot revolving around killing Hisao in the most unfortunate ways. Too bad the only thing everyone hated more than Hisao was the proposed plot concepts. With immediate bad end in the direction of going the heist concept route, with Silent Cook pointing out was utterly ridiculous given the topic we were talking about, we thought maybe we could let the story write itself if we could come up with a sufficiently strong cast. That's what some creators are able to do, I've heard. As for us, the sheer amount of moe characteristics, fetishes, and thinly veiled dream goals fast became impossible to deal with. And since everyone is very adamant about their taste being supreme, compromise was hard to reach. The discussion soon became very much like an actual office politics, with people colluding to support each other's inane ideas, backstabbings, threats to quit, and even blackmail. Visual concept design wasn't going any better. We had a bunch of unused character designs left over from KS1, half of which various devs wanted to cram into the sequel for no good reason, and the artists jumped at the chance to create worthy spiritual successors to classic designs like Hideki and Jigoro. Delta threatened to quit once he heard that Moriki would get to do the character design, but we made sure she would only be working under strict supervision of Kamifish, which calmed him down a bit. The character design process overall caused quite a bit of anger and resentment, eventually resulting in every single completed design being rejected. Things were not looking good for us. As the final desperation move, we turned to our resident expert and lowest common denominator, Climactic. He suggests we should do a fan disc for KS that amends the lack of certain fundamentals in the original game. This would be appealing to the widest audience, the concept involving things like a beach event, a pool event, a hot springs event, Shanghai turned into a maid cafe, cat goals, dog goals, fox goals, bunny goals, sheep goals, a cute but a little tsundere little sister character, a perverted otaku best friend character, a stalker character, a harem ending, a haunted house, inexplicable superpowers, alternate dimensions, mecha battles, magicals, zombies, fantasy MMORPGs, and a clown. If you couldn't tell from this was all a bloody April Fool's joke. Also at the end, it's gonna escape KS2 entirely and go straight to creating Katawa Shoujo 3, which I find funny. But that's all for this time. I hope you enjoyed this series so far, and see you all next time.